113 goals for the season.
Danny Southern is picking up Billy Brownless, who is very wide on the other half forward flank. With a loose man, Brad Johnson in the defence for Footscray.
So here we go, the opening bounce of this nighttime qualifying final. It's the Bulldogs going to the left of screen. It's not a good bounce to start proceedings, but Bairstow may get a run at the football. He did, but only for a moment, losing it to Johnson. Trying to paddle it forward now was Smith. Gets the hand pass away. Footscray go over the centre, up towards Big Elia Griggich. The gloved one pushes it forward, almost runs into his own teammate. Reynolds goes over the top. Steve Hocking involved in a clash. Up towards Grant. Gets the hand pass away, but it goes straight to Tanner. Tanner gets one wide towards O'Reilly. He finds Hanley on the half-back flank. Hanley slips at the critical time. Gives it to Hinkley. Shrugs one, 2 tackles, but the pressure's intense. His hand pass goes astray to Liberatore, who is taken high. No one on the mark, so Liberatore chips in towards Griggich in the pocket. It's too short and pushed over the boundary line, or a free kick. Free kick going the other way at Geelong on the last line of defence.
As Mansfield put his body on the line, Big Grigger came over the top and barreled him somewhat. He's hurt.
Well, that'll be a disaster for Geelong because he's had a fantastic season and he's in trouble. He has not taken the kick. Play goes on. Up towards the half-back flank.
Interesting to note that Greg started deep in the forward line with Barry Stanfield taking the first ruck for Footscray.
John Barnes chips it across to Stephen Hocking. He's at half-back. It's a very good mark by Barnes. Hocking to centre wing and a further mark. And this is Tanner. Grant Tanner on centre wing brings it in towards the half-forward area. Billy Brownless flies. Back-up support from Bairstow. Good play, Bairstow. Quick kick. Ablett can't quite get there. Racing after it, Ablett. Crediok's after him. Still going on with it, Ablett. Good shepherding by Mitch. Look at Ablett go as he tried to crash his way through the pack. Wills is there to lend a hand. Now Gary Hocking as they go in hard in this forward pocket for Geelong. And the players pounce on that ball and the umpire will bounce it. And Mansfield coming off the ground. Yes, looks like he's coming off. And coming on for Geelong will be Paul Brown. And there's some blood.
It may well be just the bleeding rule.
Yes.
I think it would be the bleeding rule, Jared.
So Brown coming on. In the meantime, the action's on the other side of the ground. Still no score in the opening minutes. Mansfield continues to arrest.
Paul Brown, his replacement, has gone straight onto his man in Richard Osborne, keeping the status quo.
And now we're back in business again. Pushed down towards Wills in the pocket. Had it only for a moment. Brewer is dangerous in front of goal. Very dangerous as he chips right across the face. On this occasion, out of bounds on the full.
And a couple of on-field matchups as expected. Costa is picking up Gary Hocking, and Paul Couch is being followed by Mark Hunter in the middle of the ground.
Shane Brewer, I think something like 19 goals for the season. They'll be looking for big things from him tonight, but this is Stanfield on the half-back flank. Brownless on the mark. Stanfield kicks towards centre wing. Pack of players and plenty of pushing and shoving. Reynolds was the one in front. Dealt with. And he'll take the free kick. Keenan Reynolds in towards Griggich. That's his target, but Hanley is an effective spoiler. Waiting down for the hurried kick was Costa. In towards full forward, but defending well is Kenny Hinkley from Camberdown. Off he goes to Johnny Barnes on the outer side, and Barnes has got a bit of room. He just chips over the top to Wills. Hickmont drops back, but Wills steps back now to take a long kick and then play on. He has a bounce, a tentative one through the middle. Goes up towards the 50-metre line. Brownless couldn't take the mark. Hickmont off to Riccardi. Riccardi a left foot snapping towards goal, and there's the first of the night. Peter Riccardi has kicked his 18th for the year and Geelong's first in this qualifying final.
Yes, and that's a good start to Peter Riccardi, playing on a good player in Scott West. That should be one of the battles of the evening. And to get your first kick and turn it into a goal is pretty good. In fact, he's had 3 kicks already. A pretty good performance by Peter Riccardi.
So we go back to the centre. Stanfield versus Barnes. Stanfield actually won that hit out. Again, a pack develops. The umpire's found a free kick in the middle of this. It'll go The Liberatore onto the left boot. He brings it down towards half forward. The race is on. Hanley versus Griggich. Here's O'Reilly, who's been out with a hamstring injury. And Stephen O'Reilly, a fine season, taps it to the line. So a throw in. About 40 metres round. There's Michael Mansfield. Looks in a lot of pain. Griggich taps it down to Cameron. Can't get his boot to it. Scott West onto the left boot. Straightens up. Fires in a goal. Won't quite make it. Here's Keenan Reynolds. I read that well. He's very strong overhead. And he always puts his body in front. Reynolds.
Well, he can play at either end of the ground, so this is a surprising move here by Alan Joyce. He was in defence in the last few weeks. He can kick goals.
So onto the left foot goes Reynolds. He's missed. He has missed. He's hooked that one. The idea was right to run out and open up the goals, but just missed.
We spoke about Mark Bairstow and the fact that he was a very good player for Geelong last time these sides met. He was picked up by Libba initially, but Leon Cameron now playing on him. And that should be a battle where both players run a little bit wide of each other, picking up plenty of possessions.
O'Reilly passes to Hanley. He in turn chips towards the half-back line, towards Couch. An experienced finals campaigner. This is final number 12. Off he goes to Steve Hocking. Kicks over the centre. Mark dropped by McPherson. Stanfield uses the body. Hickmont tries to get through. Up towards the half-forward line it goes. Croft is there for the Bulldogs. Traps it nicely and comes away from Mench on the half-back flank. Kicks wide out towards centre wing. It wobbles towards Buddha Hocking. He finds Bairstow. The runners are away for the Cats. Bairstow in towards the pocket. He goes, but it's belted over the line defensively by Hunter. And a throw-in will take place as Malcolm Blight looks on and decides upon a couple of changes. Perfect weather, as we said in the opener. Southern over the top with the fist, straight over the line once more. Just perfect weather for football. A cool night here in Melbourne. Look at when they last met as Couch chips in towards half forward. Towards Ablett! A push out as it gone against Riccardi.
Well, let off the hook then, the Bulldogs, as the kick comes out to Mark Hunter from Scott West. Now Hunter towards centre wing. Barnes is there, doesn't fly for it, the big punch. Comes back towards the half-forward line. Well played by Couch. He's looking for Brewer. Brewer held, he didn't have it. Is that a free kick? The umpire says no and calls play on. As it's tacked by Hunter, back to Croft. Reynolds puts it on the ground. Taken away by Smith, who belts it around the corner. Will it sneak in? No, it won't. It rolls, floats out. Barnes off and running, bringing in the direction of Ablett. Brownless also, he was bumped out of it. Still a chance. Brewer to Mench. Mench races into goal. He hit the post for 20 metres, you wouldn't believe it.
Very impressive youngster, David Mench, but you wouldn't expect him to miss that one from only probably the 15 to 20 metres out.
One of a number of first finalists, David Mench, perhaps a few nerves. Riccardi does nicely. May have to try and tidy up here. He's on the half-back flank, drifting it inside 50 once again. Ablett won't fly. Hickmont was in front. Beveridge defends. Wobbles it up towards centre wing, and it's over by Riccardi. As we go down to the boundary line for the first injury report, Dipper.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Michael Manson is certainly in a lot of trouble here. He's having trouble breathing. The doctor has said he has a bruised chest.
Well, that's bad luck for Geelong and Michael Mansfield.
Probably read broken rib into that one, Sandy.
Yeah, Barnes winning it, but taken over by Johnson for another throw-in. Brad Johnson having just his 8th game. Geelong pretty heavy favourites going into this game. On the throw-in, Barnes trying to clip it over the back. Oh, Hocking. He didn't get onto it. Would have been dangerous if he did, as Barnes goes with the left foot down towards the 50-metre line. Just about clean bowls everyone. Couch will get a chance from 47 metres. Paul Couch bangs it back. There's another one. Couch gets his first, and the Cats start well.
And that's why Couch is so dangerous, Paul, because he just works forward to the centre so well. In fact, he probably is playing much of the game, being instructed to play on the attacking side of the centre bounce area. And to get a goal away early will do his confidence no end of good.
12 points. The Cats lead by us. Kenny Hinkley on the left boot brings it to half forward again. Billy Brownless marks. Oh, it's even too far out for him. The leader's on by Ablett. Ablett to the pocket. Waits for the bounce. He's still going on with it. Crediok's after him. Ablett still playing on. Good play by Ablett. Finally gets in a hand pass to Hickmott. Hickmott trying to get onto his right boot. He does so. Centres the ball. That's good play by Hickmott. Looking for Mitch. It's no mark. The ball hits the deck. And before Croft can run away with it, the umpire will bounce.
Just wondering about the move of having Grigg at centre half forward. Sure, Stanfield gives him more mobility around the ground, but I think that's playing into the hands of Geelong somewhat because Handley hasn't got any mobility.
Well, here's Couch going forward again. The Bulldogs through Scott West, trying to get it away. Riccardi used his body well. Gets it further afield to Tanner. Tanner gives it to Wills. Wills kicks it goal. Oh, it started to swing, but just not enough, and one behind only.
Is having lost McGrath, Geelong have been forced to play Stephen Handley, usually who'd start on the bench and come on as a reserve ruckman or perhaps go to centre half forward. And I thought they could have exposed his lack of mobility a little bit more by having Stanfield there. Instead, they've gone for Ilya Grigic, who is a very good player. I think they need him in the middle.
Rowan Smith brings it back into play. Hocking!
It's very hard to tag you when you're up that high. That's the way to get a kick early.
One of the favourites for the Brownlow. Short to Riccardi.
And Riccardi's been on fire in the first 10 minutes. And young West will have to really tighten up for the next...
Chips into Ablett. And Gary Ablett will have a shot right forward pocket. Veteran of 206 games. The Coleman medalist. Dead-eye Dick. What a start. Ablett gets his first.
On a brighter note, Mansfield is up on the boundary line charging around, and here's Buddha Hocking's great mark, which effectively set up the goal to Gary Ablett. No doubt that Riccardi is presenting a big problem for Footscray. Maybe a change will be in the wings.
The Cats by 19 points. Barnes, well, he won that one easy. Beautiful play to Bairstow. The chip passes on. Ablett, oh, good play by Danny Southern. Showed a lot of courage and good anticipation as he brings it out towards the half-back line.
On behind play with Ablett.
It is on a wrestle on behind play. Ablett and Crediok.
They've made an art form of that at Footscray of late.
Well, it's out there at centre wing. Oh, and a big mark. Paul Brown has taken this mark way out on centre wing. Off he goes. This talented utility player brings it down towards half-forward. Billy Brownless marks. Oh, Footscray in heaps of strife here. Billy brings it into the pocket. Ablett marks, and where's his man? Steve Crediok's 20 metres behind. Footscray in big strife here. They will really have to get a move on, Gerard.
Oh, well, all the big guns are firing. We've seen Hocking take mark of the night. Then Billy Brownless puts his bid in. And Gary Ablett, of course, is lining up for his second goal. Not much Crediok could do with that one. It was left too far behind.
There he is there getting attention to an eye. Now, maybe he was in discomfort with that eye and didn't know where Ablett got to. Now let's see what happens. Well,
not much at all.
So a wrestle going on behind the play.
Find him 20 and him 30.
So, oh boy. Well, we might see more. Well, there's Crediok, but the Geelong champ to kick for his second. And the crowd is roaring, but a great start to the Cats. Gary Ablett for his second in a minute. It's on an angle, but he's only 25 metres out as he kicks it. Goal. Let's see, I think it's a goal, yes. 2 goals for the Geelong champ, and the Cats on fire, 4-2 to a point.
Well, Gary Ablett still talking animatedly with the umpire. The umpire doing most of the talking. I think Gary's doing a lot of listening.
Well, you wonder if there's a report now that the umpire's down there. He's doing a lot of talking.
The umpire's gone to both players, so perhaps that's exactly what's happened, Pete.
2 goals to Gary Ablett, 4 to Geelong in a lightning start. They lead by 25 points. The Bulldogs somewhat shell-shocked as Barn wins it out of the centre. Hocking almost ran into a major problem. Wallace couldn't steal it, but Cameron can. Down towards the half-forward flank. Steve Hocking is the effective spoiler. Pushed down in front towards Johnson, who gets a left foot kick up towards the half-forward flank region, and it goes over.
Gerard, I think you've hit the nail on the head. They are getting slaughtered at the centre bounce.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Big Griggy has to go in the middle because Barnes is dominating the first half.
From the throw-in, Riccardi again, they're doing it. Towards the middle they go with Barnes. Couldn't take it cleanly. Stanfield goes over the top, but straight to Tanner. His hand pass is smothered. Up in the air it goes. Stanfield belts it clear again, but only down to Hanley. Thought about the hand pass to Bairstow, but then goes beautifully in towards the 50-metre line, and Hickmott takes the mark.
Well, that was a great kick from Stephen Handley. He saw that Hickmott was 5 metres behind Steve McPherson, and he just pumped it over the top. He took the easiest of marks, uncontested, and that's been the general flow of play at the present time. Geelong doing it on the bit.
28th game for Adrian Hickmott. Runs in towards goal, but he's started at left and was always going to be left.
This is the way Footscray played against the West Coast last week, actually. Very, very similar. And Grigic is still down in the... Oh, they've made the move. Grigic to the ruck. And the big fella from Fish Creek has gone down to the forward pocket, Barry Stanfield. Now the kick in towards half-back. Croft underneath it, but he's beaten by Minch. They're on top. Absolutely everywhere. Here's Hocking into the pocket. Oh, bad play, Billy Brown. This you never wait. But he's got it, the big fella. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked this. No, he hasn't. But he might get a kick after he got rid of it.
Pushing it back, but you're dead right, Peter. Billy just sat there and waited for the ball to come to him, allowing the defender to just get that punch away. And there he is, man of the moment on screen.
Danny Southern is having plenty to say to the umpire. And he's dumped after he got rid of it. Now he centred the ball, and it's a mark. And guess who's got it? The Geelong champ, number 5, is going to shoot for his third. Well, this is diabolical as far as Footscray is concerned. They are being thrashed all over the ground.
Steve McPherson coming off for Footscray.
So Gary Ablett, McPherson coming off, and Jason Watts on. As Ablett will kick from 25 metres. He kicks and goals. 3 goals to Gary Ablett, and the Cats, there's a happy supporter. 5-3 Geelong. Footscray 1 behind, Jerry.
And haven't looked like kicking a goal as yet. You can't blame the Footscray forwards because the ball hasn't been down there with any purpose. So Footscray have got to have a look at their midfield setup. Steve Wallace has moved on to Paul Couch.
Let's see what happens out of the centre this time. They've been winning it at will. West couldn't take it, neither could Wallace. Couch can, whips it out towards Bairstow, off to Riccardi. It's like a procession. He centres it in towards half forward. Bang! Southern and Ablett clash. Fairly. Prediok comes away. They're out of trouble towards Johnson on the outer side. Chasing him is Tanner. Johnson gets his kick. Round the body he goes. Wide towards the boundary line. It bounces high. Liberatore is there and he sneaks around John Barnes. Centres it in towards half forward. And there's been a whistle. It's got to come back. Free kick will go back to Wallace. So he will send Footscray for the first time deep into attack, and a chance maybe for a score. Surely. Costa's kick looks good. They do. Kim Costa breaks the drought. Footscray have their first, but they trail 1-1 to 5-3.
Well, it really came out of nowhere there, but it doesn't surprise me that it was Tony Liberatore who basically got the thing going, along with Reynolds there. And I think the absence of Liberatore in the centre has been a real problem for Footscray.
33
Oh, look at that.
Magnificent ruck work that. Ablett again receives from Bairstow, and that is magnificent football. Bairstow's kicking the position beautiful.
Well, Bairstow's had 5 possessions already. Leon Cameron's had the 1 kick. And they're not manning up in the centre bounces, so whoever, if Big Barnes gets his hand on the ball first, it's going straight to Bairstow, and you see the result. Ablett on the lead. This is showcase football. This is a training drill at the minute.
It certainly is, as Ablett kicks for his 4th. And I think that fight has fired him up. The Geelong champ. And it might be his 4th. Let's have a look. Yes! 4 goals to Gary Ablett. Vintage Ablett. 6-3. 1-1.
Well, you can point the bone at Stephen Crediuk, but there's no full-back in the business other than perhaps Carl Lewis, if he took up the game, that's going to be able to outrun Gary Ablett when the ball comes down that quickly. The problem lies fairly and squarely in the middle of the ground.
Get right.
And that's where it's got to be sorted out. Bairstow needs to be manned up. It's 20 metres away, Cameron.
He's been having a field day. Mark Bairstow, 5.5 minutes left.
Oh, here we
Barnes
go
into
again.
Bairstow. Guess who? Off to Hocking. In trouble. And the free kick going the way of the Dogs, so they'll get it out of the middle this time.
One of the unwritten rules of centre bounce work is if the side gets 1 or 2 quick goals, you must take responsibility for your man. You've got to man up.
Here is Leon Cameron. Sending the Dogs down towards half forward. O'Reilly at the back will tidy up to Stephen Hocking. And Stephen Hocking can have a look from half back. Drifted into the middle. Brewer is there. Got a hand to it. He's got good support through Gary Hocking, who charges in towards the centre. Look at them pounce on that ball. Hocking in the thick of things. Hickmott over the top. And a bounce will take place.
There's the centre breaks. Geelong 5-3.
It'd have been better centre breaks, though, hadn't the
Well, they've
Geelong.
been easy centre breaks.
Bounce virtually in the middle once more. Barnes applying the tackle on West. And West ducked his head on that occasion. Lost the football. They're not out of it yet. Tanner, strong tackle on Wallace. Bairstow ridden into the ground, gets crunched but still keeps going and gets the ball out. Cameron tries some soccer tactics. It works. They're down towards the 50. They desperately want some quick goals. Cameron a chip in towards Grant in the right forward pocket. Pushed away from him. Oh, trying to storm through as Osborne snaps in towards full forward. Pushed in towards the pocket region by Hanley and over the boundary line.
Well, after the shellacking that Footscray copped last week, really this is not the start they wanted. As you see the inequality there in handball stats, their confidence would be at an all-time low.
Well, there's Keenan Reynolds getting it to Beveridge, the former Melbourne Rover on the left foot. Back towards Grant, and Chris Grant dives and takes a good mark. I'm looking forward to that clash. Now, I'm a great believer here. Gerard, in this position, you must run onto your left foot and have a snapshot from here. Unless you go with the South Australian check side.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a check side fan, I must admit, Pete, but you're the goal-kicking expert.
I reckon you get out onto your left foot and have a left foot snap here.
Luke Beveridge coming off the ground and Simon Atkins on.
Left foot snap. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, Chris Grant, he did the right thing.
Check side could have done it.
Well, he had the right idea and unfortunately hit the post. Luke Beveridge heading to the bench.
Steve Hocking takes the kick in. Gets away from Rowan Smith. Goes to the outer side where Brown won't get there in time. So a throw in on the outer side. This quarter winding down. Quarter that has been dominated by Geelong in just about every division. Couch working hard for it. Tanner was there also. Another throw. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Gary Ablett has 4 goals. Cameron going the wrong way, giving a little to try and create something. Footscray will do anything at the moment for a score. Atkins marks, and a courageous mark too. Off he goes to Johnson. He's in trouble. He's got to get round Wills. Tries to pull it back. Over the top comes Grant. No mark taken. Play on is the call. A stab at goal is away to the left and through for one behind. 1 point on the board. 6-3 plays 1-3. Doggy fans not looking too happy with the first quarter. Hanley thought about going on with it. Then goes back and finds Hinkley. Does a 360. Kicks towards centre wing. Grigic, the spoiler. Pushed down in front. Atkins off to Cameron. The Dogs trying to steady the ship that was sinking rather quickly. In towards Grant. Got a fly but couldn't take the mark. On all fours is Chris Grant. He's at the bottom of the pack. So too Liberatore. Away he goes. Can he find a path to Wallace? Wallace shoots from 40 metres. Looks good. Steve Wallace has his first and a much needed one for the Doggies.
And well done to Leon Cameron, who I think really has lifted his personal work rate in the last 5 minutes, gathering a number of possessions. And once again involved here. Well done by Grant also, who forced the ball out. But you have to finish it, and Steve Wallace did it very well.
The Cats by 24 points. As it's socket off the ground towards centre wing, taken by Colbert. A quick kick down towards the half-forward line. It's all Geelong. Here's David Minch. Gives a hand pass back to Couch. Couch, a floating kick into the direction of Ablett. Crediok used his body beautifully. That was good play to Southern. Denny Southern ducks back and comes through. He's getting the hoots of the Geelong supporters. We probably love that. He's a bit of a character. Here's Grant Tanner. Bring it in towards half-forward. He's looking for Couch. Steve Wallace put the pressure on. Taken by Hocking. Magnificent play, Hocking, as he chips it in to Mark Bairstow, the captain.
Footscray have changed their wings. West has gone over onto Tanner. Brad Johnson, who is a noted tagger, is on Peter Riccardi.
So Bairstow from 45 metres directly in front. Kicks it goal and puts it through. Malcolm Blight looks on with Bruce Nankervis, and the Cats now lead by 5 goals.
And another change, Barry Stanfield's gone down onto David Bench, and Matthew Croft has gone forward for Footscray. They're trying to get something happening at the same time, plug the gaps. But Bairstow once again putting his mark on this game.
8 possessions for Bairstow in this first quarter. Barnes floats high. Where's Bairstow? Right there. And away they go again. Down towards full forward. Trying to take it away with Hickmott. Almost finds Ablett and he goes! What play! How do you stop that, Derek?
Well, Sandy, it's something you learn at about under 14s, that you man up on your player in the centre of the bounce. Atkins is now on Bairstow. Cameron's gone to the half-forward flank on Ken Hinkley, but he hasn't run with him. Barnes has slaughtered them in the middle, and Ablett's doing a fairly good job down at full forward with 5.
Fairly good. 5 1/4. The bounce the ball. Let's see what Barnes does again. He is dominating. Oh, here they come. Oh, Hawkins crashed into by Barry Stanfield. Taken away by Steve Wallace. On the West. Scotty West onto his right boot looking for Grant. He can't mark. Oh, hand pass was from Steve Hocking. Further afield is Lee Colbert as he comes through the centre of the ground. Oh, on the Couch he was caught. Here's Osborne. Liberatore working overtime. On to Mark Hunter. He's on centre wing. The Bulldogs trying to get something going. Waiting underneath it is Keenan Reynolds. He takes a strong mark.
If ever First time I've seen finals experience or inexperience come into it tonight with that handball of Lee Colbert. Wasn't on, it should have been the long kick.
Well, the long kick would have put them in the put Footscray under all sorts of pressure. Now Footscray badly need this one. That's an understatement. That's for sure. But Keenan Reynolds, he's trying his heart out up forward. It's just not getting up there often enough. The kick from about 49 metres. Number 2 for Footscray, right on 50 actually in the end. It starts to float back. That's a good kick. A beautiful kick. God. A good kick under pressure. Here's Alan Joyce and Terry Wallace coming onto the ground, but a great quarter of football by the Cats. The quarter time here at the MCG, they lead by 5 goals, 8-3 to 3-3.